With around 200 countries and more than 7.8 billion people, plus plants, animals, and other organisms, the world is full of interesting, fun, and fascinating facts. In the land of the Kiwis, for instance, you'll find the highest concentration of pet owners on the planet. And over in Nicaragua, you'll find one of the only 2 flags in the world to feature the color purple. Hungry for more facts about the world and its ever-growing population? Watch on to learn some interesting trivia about the Earth's past, present, and future. Glaciers and ice sheets hold about 69% of the world's freshwater. Just over 96% of the total amount of the world's water is held in its oceans, according to Water in Crisis, a guide to the world's freshwater resources via the United States Geological Survey, USGS. However, that's primarily saltwater. To find the bulk of the world's freshwater you need to trek to the poles, as 68.7% of it is encased in ice caps, permanent snow, and glaciers. The fastest gust of wind ever recorded on Earth was 253 miles per hour. Hang on to your hats because this isn't your average windstorm. In 1996, a tropical cyclone named Olivia hit off the coast of Barrow Island, Australia with such a force that it broke an incredible record. According to the Weather Channel, Olivia's eye wall produced 5 extreme 3-second wind gusts, the peak of which was a 253 miles per hour gust, which blew past the previous wind record of 231 miles per hour set in Mount Washington, New Hampshire back in 1934. Recent droughts in Europe were the worst in 2,100 years. Europe has been experiencing serious dry spells and extreme heat since 2015, which has caused major droughts. Research done led by the University of Cambridge, and published on the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration website, looked at isotopes in the rings of old European oak trees in Central Europe which formed over thousands of years to try to pin down the cause. They discovered that the dry spells are a result of human-caused climate change and associated shifts in the jet stream, according to Uric Alert. The best place in the world to see rainbows is in Hawaii. If you're an avid rainbow gazer and want to get your fill of the beautiful phenomenon, look no further than the state of Hawaii. A study published by the American Meteorological Society in 2021 noted that the area's mountains produce sharp gradients in clouds and rainfall, which are key to abundant rainbow sightings. Air pollution, pollen, and a large amount of cresting waves also help to put Hawaii at the top of the list when it comes to rainbow quantity and quality. Whale songs can be used to map out the ocean floor. Fin whales are basically the Barry White of the ocean. The deep, bellowing songs that males use to attract mates are considered to be the loudest of all marine life and can be heard up to 1,000 kilometers, 600 miles, away, according to Scientific American. They can also be used to sonically map out the ocean floor thanks to the fact that the sound can reach depths of 2.5 kilometers, 1.6 miles, under the water, which bounces back and provides researchers with accurate measurements. Beyond that, a 2021 study in Science showed how using a fin whale's song can be far more useful and have less of a negative impact on sea life than using a large airgun, which is the typical tool researchers rely on. 7 new creatures have been found in deep-sea volcanoes. Finding previously undiscovered organisms in the depths of the ocean may sound like something straight out of a sci-fi horror film, but a 2020 study of a deep-sea volcano near New Zealand, published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, uncovered over 90 putative bacterial and archaeal genomic families and nearly 300 previously unknown genera. Some research has linked hydrothermal vents, like deep-sea volcanoes, to the origin of life. So are we looking at the early signs of future land dwellers? Climate change is causing flowers to change color. Don't worry, your prized red roses aren't going to turn turquoise overnight, but an increase in UV radiation due to the ozone layer deteriorating over the past decades has caused flowers all over the globe to change. A 2020 study led by Clemson University scientists determined that the UV pigmentation in flowers has increased over time, which has led to the degradation of their pollen. Although we can't see the color change with our eyes, it is a big problem for pollinators like bees who are attracted to the bright colors that flowers produce. Dentistry is the oldest profession in the world. Dentistry goes all the way back to when humans first had teeth, well, not quite that long. However, one study found evidence of teeth being drilled in skulls that dates from 7,500 to 9,000 years ago. The holes were likely made using a prehistoric bow drill. Could that be the work of the first dentist? Other biting research conducted by the University of Bologna, Italy on a 14,000-year-old skull found that one rotten tooth in the jaw had been deliberately scoured and scraped with a tool, according to the BBC. That makes dentistry one of the oldest recorded professions and is defy nightly a reason to smile. No matter where you go, it's comforting to know you can always enjoy a Coca-Cola. Well, almost anywhere. While this fizzy drink is sold practically everywhere, it still hasn't, officially, made its way to North Korea or Cuba, according to the BBC. That's because these countries are under long-term U.S. trade embargoes. However, some folks say you might be able to snag a sip of the stuff if you try hard enough, although it'll typically be a lot more expensive than what you would pay in the States, and probably imported from a neighboring country such as Mexico or China. The entire world's population could fit inside Los Angeles. The world's total population is more than 7.5 billion. And obviously, that number sounds huge. However, it might feel a little more manageable once you learn that if every single one of those people stood shoulder to shoulder, they could all fit within the 500 square miles of Los Angeles, according to National Geographic. There are more twins now than ever before. You might think twins are a rarity, but they're actually becoming more common than ever. From about 1915, when the statistical record begins, until 1980, about 1 in every 50 babies born was a twin, a rate of 2%, writes Alexis C. Madrigal of The Atlantic. Then, the rate began to increase. By 1995, it was 2.5%. The rate surpassed 3% in 2001 and hit 3.3% in 2010. That means, 1 out of every 30 babies born is a twin. Scientists believe this trend is due to the fact that older women tend to have more twins, and women are choosing to start families later. Fertility treatments such as in vitro fertilization likely also play a role. The hottest chili pepper in the world is so hot it could kill you. The weapons-grade, dragon's breath chili pepper is so hot it's downright deadly. If you ate one, it could potentially cause a type of anaphylactic shock, burning your airways and closing them up. I've tried it on the tip of my tongue and it just burned and burned, said Mike Smith, the hobby grower who invented the dragon's breath along with scientists from Nottingham University. So why make such an impractical pepper? As it turns out, the chili was initially developed to be used in medical treatment as an anesthetic that can numb the skin.